I got a Pagani. I made an entire video about why you should avoid clomages and why heritage is super important. And now I have a Pagani in my hands that I've been using for about a week now, and I want to tell you what I think, if my mind has changed, and potentially offer you a interesting little insight into this hobby, or just a new perspective. You have a sapphire crystal, an aluminum bezel, full solid stainless steel links with a fully milled clasp and an NH34, and it's all around $100 Canadian, which is probably around $80 to $90 US. So a very competitive price for an NH34. I will give you the dimensions up here, and the dimensions are, I think, similar to the Submariner Homage. The effective lug to lug is a little bit larger because there are male end links. That just mean that the watch protrudes a little bit more on your wrist. It sticks out a bit more. In terms of wearability, I would say if you have a 6.5 inch wrist or above, this watch will wear quite nicely on your wrist. Unfortunately, I don't have a 6.5 millimeter wrist. Unfortunately, I couldn't take out an appropriate amount of links for it to actually size up to my wrist, so it's a bit big on me. The micro adjust definitely did not help, so I'll get into that micro adjust problem just in a bit. So this bezel, I think, is one of the most iconic bezels on any watch, really, outside of maybe the Submariner, the fully black bezel. This Pepsi bezel is super iconic, and I think with this really bright, bold blue and red, it really does pop with any outfit you're wearing. It's an interesting combo. So of course this is trying to homage or clomage a GMT Master 2 from Rolex. And you know what, Pagani, the employees there were working really hard, and they made amazing use out of their photocopier. This is made of aluminum, not ceramic. Rolex is actually having problems with producing the bicolor bezel with the red and the blue, because there's some problem with actually having the color kind of pop. If you look at some Rolex GMT Pepsis, you can see that the new ones have a really faint blue, and it kind of looks purplish. So Pagani just went the easier way out, again, because it's $100. So they gave you an aluminum bezel. And I know some people don't like aluminum bezels, but personally, I think aluminum bezels are really cool because they age with you and they don't look new. And of course, that's not for everybody. I like aluminum bezels. So this is a 120 click unidirectional bezel, and I'll just give you a little sound test. No wobble whatsoever in terms of this bezel, which is really impressive for something of this price point. Even Seiko, I think, has some bezel issues. It does align, but you might not get lucky. It might be a little bit wobbly, might not align, but that's kind of the gamble you take when you buy a watch like this. It is unidirectional and 120 click because it was a cost-cutting measure, right? Because that's the bezels you use for dive watches, and I'm pretty sure they don't produce a whole bunch of GMTs, so they probably couldn't afford to buy a 24-click bi-directional bezel. This is my first GMT watch, and it's pretty novel. I don't really make use of the GMT function all that much. I don't travel all that much, and this isn't a true GMT. It's a collar GMT. Right now it's set to Swiss time, and yeah, it's pretty interesting just to see the time there, but it's not one of the most useful features for me, at least. On the back, you have a crystal. I'm pretty sure that's not sapphire. It's a display case back, so you get to see the NH34 in all of its glory. It might be interesting to some people to see that. So Lume on this Pagani is not so great. It's better than my other Paganis, and the numerals on the bezel are loomed, but it lasts around 15 or so minutes after a full charge. On the Pagani, it's pretty good. I've measured, I think, around 10 or so seconds lost a day, which is not too bad. The micro adjust on this bracelet is really bad, and this is just a notorious part of Pagani designs. They just have really bad micro adjust, and I will tell you that I had to use a piece of floss to put it through the clasp and then actually hook onto the spring bar and pull it out. After an hour, it came out. 1 hour of hard work. Pagani Design, if you're listening, please fix that. Put some holes on the outside of here so you can actually use it. The clasp itself is pretty sharp. That's to be expected for Pagani Designs, but if you're buying like a $100 Seiko, you probably wouldn't expect that. So it's just a little bit rough around the edges, quite literally. If you look at this clasp, it is not as secure as the other Pagani Design clasps I've had. So I feel a little bit uneasy when I'm wearing it, to say the least. It just doesn't snap in and doesn't reassure me. So 100 meters of water resistance, I doubt that. The crown on here, I personally like it. It's a lot bigger than the GMT crown, so it doesn't look proportional, but personally, just for utility's sake, it's pretty useful. You have brushed outer links with center polish links. Okay, so with all of this specifications aside, I'll tell you about how it's been on the wrist for like the past week, my thoughts, and then my new perspective on Clomages. So one quick disclaimer is that in my past video talking about homages, the responses in the comments were amazing. I mean, there was a lot of discussion going on, and it proved to be a lot more contentious than I thought it was in terms of the topic. And I just want to mention that buying a clomage is not the end of the world. Of course, I would definitely recommend someone buy a clomage over a fake. You know what? If you like clomages, if you like homages, if you like wearing a toy transformer watch, you go for it. Because at the end of the day, this watch hobby is about you. It's about what you like. It's a pretty neat watch for $100, right? I'm not gonna deny that. There's really no other watch in this price range, with the exception of probably a Tandorio, that can truly compete with this in terms of specifications only. But as I mentioned in my other video, I still think that it does lack heritage. What I meant to say in my last video was just, if you are knee-deep in this hobby and you're spending $500 on, let's say, 5 Rolex GMT Master 2 Clomages, personally, it doesn't make that much sense from my perspective. I think you're much better off buying an original or even an homage with its own unique touch. Something that homages your grail watch that costs a little bit more. And I personally think you'll appreciate it more than just buying multiples of something that is trying to mimic another thing. But that's just my opinion. Just tell me in the comments below if you disagree, your thoughts. Other people are probably gonna notice it because of its bright colors. If you like it, you should definitely get it. And I'll have it linked in the description down below as an affiliate link. There is something that I would recommend to the clomage buyer, because I'm getting the sense that the average clomage buyer doesn't necessarily care about heritage, which is totally fair. They usually want value propositions, right? Good value propositions. So what I would say, if you want something inexpensive, you're not looking to spend $500 on a watch, $300 on a watch even, try modding a watch or try building your own watch. I think that building your own watch is just a different experience. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was a very frustrating experience when you can't get it and you probably are gonna break something. Hopefully not the movement, but you might break one of the seconds hand. But I do think that it does add to the experience, and it adds a different dimension because all these watch YouTubers are like, oh, I really like this facet of the watch. It has this second hand that is very personalized to me almost, because I like this. But the thing about watch building is that outside of literally designing your own watch, you can say, I put that watch hand on myself. I chose that watch hand. I spent like 2 hours researching different watch hands, and that's the one I went for. And there's a whole other story of it. You can say, yeah, that watch hand took 4 hours to put on or something. And you just have a closer bond with the watch, whereas I think with clomages, you don't tend to grow that a whole bunch of different memories that you ascribe to that watch. So I do think that watch modding is definitely a viable option to these clomage watches. And I had a pretty interesting experience with NamokiMods. I do think that their build quality in terms of their watch parts are pretty outstanding, with the exception of the instruction manual. I would definitely check them out. If you do want to check them out, I'll have my discount code in the description, time ticker 5 off, I believe. It takes off 5% at the checkout for 5% off everything in their store. And if you don't want to go for Namoki, there's also AliExpress, which in terms of its quality is a little bit iffy, but it's definitely cheaper. So I'll also link some stores that I recommend in the description down below. And with all of that said, this watch is a pretty interesting watch. It's definitely better built than the other Paganis I own. At the end of the day, you're getting an NH34, an aluminum bezel, an iconic design for $100. So once again, pure specification, it blows everything out of the water. I'm a little bit more optimistic, I guess, about these Clomage watches, but it definitely hasn't been enough to dissuade me from my general opinion. But then again, that's just my opinion at the end of the day. If you have different opinions, if you want to talk watches, if you want to talk anything, really, tell me in the comments down below. I would love to respond to them, and I'll try my best to respond to each and every one of them. Okay, with all of that said, I hope this watch channel patinas like your favorite watch, and I will see you in another episode on the Time Ticker. Bye.